want to talk about learning to fly, which is becoming a living creature with wings, which means being totally carried by the Spirit of God. Okay? I've been talking about that we're in this time of transition, and I believe we're going through a time that we've never gone through before. Okay, so everything is new. It is built upon our previous understanding and things that we have known, but we've only known these things in concepts. Okay, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. But as we really start to go through them, we understand what that experience is. Okay, so it's like we just start seeing a lot more clearly. You gain more understanding, you get more revelation when you're actually experiencing something. Because until you do, it's a picture, it's a metaphor, it's an analogy, it's a concept, but you don't know what it is until you see it. Okay, and this is one reason why, and sometimes, I get these questions from people about, I'm a part of this religion or that religion. And I truly believe at this time that if you want to go through a spiritual metamorphosis, okay, if you want to truly change into a new creation, and that's what I'm going to be talking about, you can't be bound by a religion because of what I just said, is that God is doing new things, okay? Again, the truths are all there for us so that we have a witness to what we're learning, truths that are in the Bible, okay, truths in creation, because God is truth and He has left those witnesses for us. But the things that we're learning are so, again, because we're actually experiencing, we're understanding things that have always been spoken of, okay, with much greater clarity. And if you have a religion, what makes it that particular religion is that it has a set, defined belief system, okay? So it pictures your salvation a certain way, what happens in the end in a certain way, how you're transformed into a new creation, right? And they have that all set according to their beliefs. But the fact is, none of them have gone through that. Okay, no one has been through this in time. So if you are keeping your spirit and your understanding bound by tradition of the past, of people's notions of what today meant back in the past, they didn't know, okay? All they could know were metaphors and analogies and pictures, but you don't know until you actually go through it. So if you are serious about wanting to truly know the living God, wanting to become a son of God, a creation made by Him, then you have to be willing to let go of all constraints, okay? And what is your witness is the things of God, the creation, what you're experiencing, your life, okay? Because when you start walking in truth, and how do you know in truth? Because your life reflects the promises of truth. It reflects the peace. It reflects the rest. It reflects the deliverance and the healings of the Spirit. Okay, so that's how you know you're walking in truth, because those promises are being manifest in your life. Okay, if you are holding on to things of something that's going to happen, but it's not happening, and you don't see growth, right? Transformation in that direction, then it's a false belief, and that's very misleading. So in these days, it's very important to let go of all of those and come one-on-one to the Spirit of God, seeking straight from Him the truth, the wisdom, the understanding that you need today as you need to know it. Okay, and have that purity where you're not bound by set doctrines that are unwilling to be changed. Okay, because then they'll be changed too late after. And all I mean by that is never too late to come to God. Never. I don't believe that. Okay, what that means is that you're just going to get so wrapped up, and you're just going to be wrapped up in delusions and suffering and afflictions when you don't need to. Okay? You don't need to go through all that, because if you start seeking that truth and you start following the voice of God, He's going to be leading you perfectly as you need to be led, and you can trust that. He's the one that you can trust. Okay? So that being said, let's talk about what this means becoming a new creation. Okay? It is, and what's fascinating, and I wrote a blog about this, is in creation, we actually have an example. And remember, God created creation, right? He made the plants, the trees, the animals, all that this is. And it's so grateful because it's a witness and a testimony to us. It's a teacher to us. Okay? And in creation, God tells us, Christ says we have to die to self. We have to become a new creation. We have to transform. All right? We have to put off the old man and put on the new man. We have to be renewed in our inner man according to His work within us. And we see that in creation. We see that in a journey of a caterpillar to a butterfly. Okay, here is a creation that is bound, right, in that form. A caterpillar is a caterpillar. And often in the Bible, men are referred to as worms. Okay, and that's because it's showing you that these are connections by which you can be taught. And just as a caterpillar transforms into a completely different creation, in so many ways, we too are to transform into a completely new creation. And if you want to know if you are of the elect, or of God's chosen, then how you know that for sure is when you go through that transformation. Okay, when you start seeing these changes into a completely new creation in your life. Okay, and that first comes by understanding, because it's by your faith that you are saved. Faith is your victory. Faith is understanding of the word, of the truth of God, and believing in it so that you act according to it. Okay, so the obedience is the fruit. If you don't have any obedience to what God's telling you to do, His Spirit and how that's guiding you, then you are self-deceived, because you're still walking in your own way. Your beliefs are in vain. Obedience is fruit, okay? And it's not obedience to religious doctrine or rituals, okay? It's obedience to the promptings of God to your spirit, okay? Which feels like that pure conscience telling you, that pure wisdom, that perfect love telling you how to walk, okay? Helping you through your struggles, helping you to understand the reason for your afflictions and your hardships, okay? And I'm going to dive more into that in another video. But in this one, I want to introduce this idea that what we're looking for is a new creation, okay, transformation. And I've talked about at the corner, at this very heart of that, what transforms is your character, okay? So your character starts to take on the character of God, okay? The honor, the mercy, the loving kindness, the integrity, the sincerity, the no hypocrisy, right? All these things. That is like your heart being recreated, okay? Because we need a new heart. Because this work of God comes from the inside out. That's how it works. So when you want to become a new creation, just as a butterfly is, it all starts as a work within. And as a caterpillar eats and eats and eats, that's its main job. Okay, that's what we are to do, is we are to feast on the truth, the bread of heaven, the words of God spoken to our spirit. And I mentioned with the Bible that you can't put the Bible above the Spirit of God. And that's what a lot of people do, and they get misled. You can't put anything above the Spirit of God. Okay, if you trust God to teach you, He will use the Bible as a tool to teach you about Him. But that's the way you must be taught, and that's the way you must be learned, because there's many different interpretations of the Bible. And that's why, because people come with their flesh mind. You got to come with the spirit mind and let God teach you through those words. Okay, and as you let God teach you, whether it's through your life, your circumstances, your situations, your relationships, through His Word, through that Bible, through other people's words, but it's His Spirit that's supreme. You don't put anybody's word above His Word, okay? And that's that pure consciousness in you. And it's going to be truth, meaning it's going to fit with everything, okay? What you see in creation is going to fit everything because truth is truth, okay? What He's telling you to do in your life, the very practical wisdom of day-to-day of how to live, right? So as you start to commune with God and listen, and spend that time being quiet and really trying to listen, and that's what it is. It's just getting in tune with that pure consciousness. I'm going to talk more about that dynamic. But what happens is you start getting a new heart, and that's like that new character, okay? So you get to a point where all you want to do is love everyone perfectly. And that's what you come to the point of realizing is that you can't, okay? That no matter how much you obey, no matter how much you follow His promptings, no matter how much you do all those things, you cannot. So now you've got this heart, this new heart, okay? It's like this new character that's been shaped in you that wants to shine, that wants to come forth, that wants to fill all in all, but you hit this wall, okay? And what you hit is your personality. Okay, those are the filthy garments, okay, that Joshua is wearing in Zechariah 3, that high priest. And these things get very deep, but I'm going to try to just break it down for you, okay? So what you're wearing is your personality, and that is the flesh, that is the dust, that is the grave, that is the tomb, that is where your spirit is dwelling, okay? And your personality is a part of your spirit. It's been a reflection of your old spirit, of the old inner man, of the old person that you were, okay? That's because before you're even born, at the moment of conception, your personality starts to form from your parents, okay? And so your whole life is built on your personality is forming. And what makes up your personality is full of pain and full of corruption, okay? And so that your very foundation of how you are put together is corrupted, okay? And so that's your whole personality is corrupted. That is your garment that you wear, because that's how you express yourself to other people, is through your personality. It's your ways of responding and acting. It's your instructions on how to operate, okay, in this life. And that's why everybody has a different mixture, because everybody has a different personality, because everybody's had different instructions. It's a mixture of different lies and all these different things that make it up. So it's just this totally disharmonious creation that sometimes does good, sometimes hurt. It causes a lot of harm. It's kind of uncontrollable. You know, you are who you are because you're operating always through that personality at an unconscious level. So whether you're doing stuff consciously or unconsciously is tainted by that personality. Okay, that's those skins of death. And they're your garments, because your personality starts creating your reality. You know, I've talked so much about your reality, but it's almost like you have your character, your reality, and the personality sits in the middle. Okay, and a lot of times we talk about our actual clothes, you know, they're reflecting your personality. But this isn't about, but that's all symbolic, okay? It's all a metaphor, it's all an analogy to teach us that what we need is a new personality. We need new garments. We need a new mode of expression. Just like a caterpillar looks nothing like a butterfly has a completely different mode of expression, okay, with its wings and how they reflect the light and all the brilliant colors, how it travels through the air. We're changing in the same way. And there's a lot of different dynamics to this, okay? But the very important to understand is that your very personality has to go. Okay, that is what you go and you offer up on the altar to God, and you want His consuming fire to come down and consume it. to burn it away because you want his personality. And this is what Jesus was saying. He says, when you've seen me, you've seen the Father, because he had taken on the likeness of the Father, the appearance of the Father in creation, okay? God the Father, the Godhead, the Mother and Father, the creation of all is beyond this creation, okay? Because he created this creation. It's the spirit. It's all spirit that he's created. That's why you can have no images. And that's why to be a part of him, you have to let go of all images, especially of him, okay, to let him create everything. But Jesus reflected the personality of the Father coming through creation, okay? It's just like the clay. It's like here you have this clay form, but when the potter starts putting his hands into the clay, he starts shaping it and forming it, and everything that it becomes is everything that he has shaped. But the clay is the clay. That's what we're like, okay? But this spirit that has been shaping our clay, our personality, our mind, how our mind is working, has been a very corrupted spirit. And that's why you need to take on and die to self. You need to die so much to everything that you knew, just like a caterpillar, and be wanting and desirous to come into that butterfly, okay? Because this is a journey that you are watching God do in you. It's all his work in you, but you're just being the willing vessel, just being willing to be molded, okay? And this is where Jesus told the rich man, if you truly want to be perfect, if you want to truly follow me, you've got to go sell all. Sell all. Okay? Because there are aspects of our personality that we depend on, that we like, that we think are good, that, have helped us through in our life, that we have found value in, that we have found self-worth in. Okay? But once you come, after all this seeking, you come to a point where you realize all of it is filthy. It's all filthy rags. It all has to go. And you have to be willing to let all of that go so that you really embrace and let that Spirit of God come in you and recreate you. And what he'll make you into is his personality. Okay? And this is what the elect, the chosen, those are the first ones to move into this phase. They're the first ones of creation to transform into new creations. Okay, they're just leading the others. That is the role they play. That is why they're the firstborn. But that's a very special role to play, no doubt. And it comes with great gifts, because the biggest one is that in some way your life, which has been full of just so many different things, actually can be a tool by the grace of God to help other people in a very powerful way. That's a beautiful gift, okay? It's all about helping this world to heal. This is a time of healing. All right, and that's what I'm talking about. This is the true healing. This is how you are truly healed. And I'll dive more into my next video.